Hello everyone. So in this lecture, I am going to tell you regarding the Labor Care Guide by WHO 2020. This is the guide which has been given in November-December by WHO in view of the latest changes in the first and the second stage of labor definitions, as well as with the changing supportive care concept and the effective communication to the female or a parturient. There is a need to change our partogram. Therefore, they have released these guidelines, and in these guidelines they have said that we must be using for all in all the settings this labor care guide. So you can go to the other lectures and other courses on my website. This is just an introduction of mine. So yes. So okay, health personnel can support women to achieve their desired physical, emotional and psychological outcomes for themselves, their babies and their families by effective labor and childbirth practices and avoidance of ineffective practices. All the concept is just to improve our maternity care. In February 2018, the WHO published a consolidated set of recommendations on intrapartum care for a positive childbirth experience. The recommendation included new definitions of the duration of first and second stages of labor and provide the guidance on the timing and use of labor interventions to improve the health and the well-being of women and their babies. As you all know, there is a continuous evolution in the partogram, and in the last 10 years the concept has quite changed. In the year 1958, it was the Friedman who have given first labor curve, and we have been using in our times the labor partogram, which used to have a latent phase also. Then in WHO in 2010 or 14, they have changed the concept and they said that now we have to delete the latent phase from our monitoring and we have to start from the active phase, and the active phase starts from the 4 centimeter. But since the published reports of Zhang and few Chinese and the Japanese studies, the latest curve has been given and followed, that is of Zhang labor curve. And according to that, Government of India also released their guidelines and they said that the active stage should start from the 6 centimeter. I'm not going into the detail of Zhang labor curve, which will be there in my another lecture. And you can visit my all lectures and on my website. So then there came the Zhang labor curve, which has been popularized, and there has been lot of controversy whether the active stage should start from 4 centimeter or 6 centimeter. And Zhang has done this study in around 60,000 patients. It was a retrospective study, and there they have said that rather than a curve like a Friedman which he has given, sigmoid curve, it is an exponential curve, right? And the active stage should start from 6 centimeter. So he said that the active stage should start from 6 centimeter, and this is the 6 centimeter. So this was the evolution in the partogram. So in December 2020, WHO has revised the guideline, and they said that the traditional WHO partograph should be replaced. They said that the labor care guide revises and replaces the traditional WHO partograph, a labor monitoring tool which is now inconsistent with the latest evidence about labor duration, triggers for clinical interventions, and the importance of respectful maternity care. This is the most important point, and according to this, they have done the changes in this partogram, or they have called it as a labor care guide. So coming to the what is this all about labor care guide? It is just a change in the partogram where there were 4 sections in the previous partogram. Now they have involved the 7th section, and they have described the 7th section in this labor care guide released by the WHO. So I will be taking each section separately, and how to fill that I will be explaining in a easy manner. The aim of the Labour Care Guide is to guide the monitoring and the documentation of the well-being of women and babies and the progress of labour, guide supportive care throughout the labour, promptly identify and address emerging labour complications, prevent unnecessary use of interventions in labour support, and audit and quality improvement of labour management. Where should the LCG be used? So this is very important. Previously, it has been said that partogram should be used in a primary health center and it should be used by midwife. But now, the skilled health professional directly providing labor and childbirth care in all settings should be using Labour Care Guide. And this includes midwives, nurses, general practitioners and the obstetricians. So, it is designed for whom? Apparently healthy pregnant women and their babies, that means women with low risk pregnancies. Women at high risk of developing labor complications may require additional specialized monitoring and care. So you have to modify your monitoring according to the risk factor. But routinely you can use this in all patients of yours in the labor room. When should the LCG be initiated? Now, here is the point. Previously, it was that the active stage starts from the 4 centimeter. Then guidelines after the Zhang labor curve, it has been said that active stage should start from the 6 centimeter. Then ACOG guidelines said that the active stage should start from 5 centimeter. Then WHO also said that the active stage should start from 5 centimeter. So when should we be starting this LCG? When the woman enters the active phase of the first stage of labor, that is 5 centimeter or more of a cervical dilatation, regardless of her parity and the membrane status. Although it is said that the LCG should not be initiated in a latent phase of labor, that means still 5 centimeter, but it is expected that the women and the babies are monitored and given full labor care and support during their latent stage. So there are 7 sections in the Labour Care Guide. As you can see here, 7 sections are there, and there are 2 sections which has been added to our previous partogram, that is a supportive care and a shared decision making, and that makes a very important part of the Labour Care Guide. And few other things have been added to all the sections, which I am coming in a next few slides. So as you can see here, this is a Labour Care Guide. I will show you the each section separately, but it has got a one x-axis and one y-axis, right? X-axis will tell you the timeline, and this part previously in partogram, what is the difference? Previously in partogram, there is no mention of the second stage of labor, but here the second stage, separate columns have been given for the second stage of labor, and they said second stage has got 2 phases, passive phase and an active phase, and active phase is also called as a pushing phase. So once the patient starts pushing, you must be writing a P. They have given few mnemonics also to be written in these small columns, which I will be coming later on. Then these small columns have been divided, and each column belongs to 1 hour. For fetal heart rate, they have done the subdivision so that fetal heart rate monitoring can be written half hourly, and in the second stage they have divided again that half an hour to in 2 parts to 15 minutes, although they said that the 5 minutes monitoring of the fetal heart rate should be done. So another component is there, that if you see these columns, so first column denotes that what is that stage about, what are the parameters, and second column has got a alert. As you have seen in the previous partogram, there were alert line and an action line. Here they have removed this alert action line and they have just given this alert section. and where they have mentioned if your patient belongs to these parameters according to these columns, that patient should be seen by and consulted by a senior obstetrician, right? So we'll take each section separately and how to fill that. Another concept they have given is labor monitoring to action. They said that we have to monitor the labor by following these 4 parameters. That means you have to do assessment, then record, then check, and then plan. Right? So assess, you have examined the patient, you have then recorded on this labor care guide. Then what you did, you checked, you compared from the alert section that your patient is not belonging to that category, and then you have planned. So assess means assess the well-being of woman and her baby and progress of labor. Record means documentation of labor observation. Check means check reference threshold. I told you, compare the labor observations with reference values in the alert column, because that is the column which tells you when intervention is needed and when senior obstetrician has to be consulted. Then plan, decide whether and what interventions are required in consultation with the obstetrician and document accordingly. Right? So remember that assess, record, check and plan. This is labor monitoring to action, so that there can be we can have a proper use of this labor care guide. So this is a first row which is there in the labor partograph, labor care guide. Always remember to say it a labor care guide, right? So what is there in the time axis? I told you there are 2 rows. One is of time and another is an hour. You have to start this monitoring from the 5 centimeter, and whether she has got a membrane ruptured or unruptured, no matter. But as soon as she enters in a 5 centimeter, her labor care guide should start. In time, you will write down whatever time you have started your monitoring, and that should be labeled as a 1 hour. Then further you will go on writing the time, and this be 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, because according to these hours only there is a guidelines regarding the dilatation and the descent of the head. So this is the second stage of labor and this is the first stage of labor. Once the full dilatation is occurring, that means 6:30 to 12:30 she came in a full dilatation, and from 12:30 to 12:45 there was a second stage of labor. So this is a time axis I had talked of. Then there are few mnemonics have been given, or a few short forms have been given so as to fit our assessment in these small columns. They said if you have done something, that is yes. If no, then N, and if the patient declines, then D. If the any status is unknown, you use. Then regarding the position of the patient, there were 2 short forms used. Number 1 SP and number 2 is MO. SP means supine, SP means supine, and MO means mobile, and mobile patient in a first stage labor is always preferred. Regarding the fetal heart rate, they said that it should be between 110 to 160, and you have to, I'll come to it later on. Just remember that E for early deceleration, L for late deceleration, V for variable deceleration, I for intact membrane. This from to this is for amniotic fluid from this. I for intact, C for clear liquor, M for meconium, and then meconium grading has been given, B for blood. Then this from A to 2T is regarding the pervaginal finding, where the occiput position is commented, whether it is occipital anterior, P is for posterior, and T is for transfer. Then P is for protein in the urinary finding, and A is for acetone. Right? So remember these mnemonic to be written on the labor care guide or your parthogram. So now this is the section 1, where section 1 is regarding the patient's information. And what patient information you need to tell? That you need to have a name, you need to have a parity, whether labor onset was spontaneous or induced, when you made a diagnosis, ruptured membranes were there or not, or whatever is the timing of the ruptured membrane, and if there is any risk factors. Like in this patient, there was a history of stillbirth and anemia. So one paper is going to give you all the information regarding the patient if you see. So it is a snapshot of the current patient's condition. Section 2. Our purpose is to give a respectful maternity care, effective communication and pain relief, and a companionship. So second column was not there previously. So it has been added new. We have a companion, pain relief is there, oral fluid and posture. See, in alert line they say कि if companion is not there, then you have to circle. If your companion is there, this is a requirement that companion has to be there, pain relief has to be there, oral intake should be continued, and posture should be mobile in the active first stage of labor. If anything is not there, and which is coming in the alert section, so you have to circle it with red pen so anybody can see that here we need to do the improvisation in the patient care. So nowadays they say you should be having a companion, good pain relief, and pain relief is to be done. Either you can use a routine, you can use a painkiller, you can paracetamol 1 gram IV 6 hourly, you can use a tramadol, or pethidine is the recommended this thing painkiller which has been recommended in this labor care guide, 50 milligram intramuscularly to be given. Patient should continue to have a light food and an oral fluid intake is always encouraged, and the posture should be mobile. So here the posture was supine, so it has been circled by a red pen so that we will ask our nursing staff that patient should be made mobile. So alert section I have already talked of. This section is very important and your findings should not be corroborating to the alert. That is the main principle. Coming to the section 3. In section 3 we have information regarding the baby, and what information regarding the baby we are talking, that means we need to tell the baseline fetal heart rate, we need to have a deceleration, we need to tell about the amniotic fluid, which type of it, fetal position, caput and molding. So coming one by one, the baseline fetal heart rate I talked to you should be between 110 to 160, and if any time it is less than or more than that, then it should be circled. Fetal heart rate should be listened for whole 1 minute during contraction and after passing of the contraction for 30 seconds so that you can detect whether there is any deceleration or not. You can have a continuous fetal monitoring, but in this they have said you can listen with the Doppler or you can use a stethoscope for listening with fetal heart and characterizing it for a fetal heart rate decelerations, right? Amniotic fluid, then you need to go for a vaginal examination. Vaginal examination to be done 4 hourly, and you have to tell the condition of the fluid and what type of fluid is coming, whether membranes are intact, then I, if clear, then C, and meconium M, and they have graded it to 3, 1 plus, 2 plus and 3 plus, and if it is 3 plus, this needs a immediate intervention and a care, and a B, that means there is some amount of abruption is there, then you need to be careful. That's why in the alert line it has been written like this. Then commenting upon the fetal position by the position of the occiput. So if it is anterior then it is okay, but if it is posterior or transverse, so you have to write down P or T and then you have to circle that okay, rotation is not complete. Caput 3 plus is not agreeable. So caput ke liye they have given it 0, 1, 2, 3. Molding they have given, they said the moldings are acceptable to grade 1. Grade 2 is seen whenever the patient is in the late stage of labor, but grade 3 is not acceptable. You need an immediate intervention in these cases. So you will fill this hourly. Coming to section 4, which is regarding the patient's women condition. So women condition, what you have to tell? You have to tell the pulse, Systolic, diastolic blood pressure, temperature and urine, that should be monitored 4-hourly. So remember that things should be monitored 4-hourly except fetal heart rate, if vaginal examination and the maternal condition. But if anything goes according to the alert line, then she has to be monitored frequently. So pulse should be between 60 to 120. Systolic blood pressure should not be less than 80 or more than 140. That means it indicates either patient is hypotensive or she is going into preeclampsia. Diastolic blood pressure should not be more than 90. Temperature should be between 35 to 37 and urine should not have a protein or acetone, right? It is said that if the patient is dehydrated, then the acetone will be positive. We should be monitoring this 4-hourly. And if albumin is 2+, 1+, they say it can occur and it can be due to UTI also. So 2+ definitely you need to intervene and see the blood pressure and see their patient is not preeclampsia or intrapartum. Some problem might not be occurring in their patient. Coming to the next section, that is a section 5. So we have dealt with 4 sections till here. Now we manage the labor progress. This is very important. So for cervical dilatation, we are going to use cross as it was previously. And for descent, we are going to use 0. Right? Cervix, patient to be started in a monitoring phase from 5 centimeters. This is an alert guideline. That means if the patient is in 5 centimeter and she doesn't progress for next 6 hours, she needs your intervention. So if you put a cross here and then after 7 hours you put cross here again, that means your patient has not progressed and you need to intervene in this patient. So 4-hourly you will do a pervaginal examination. 6 centimeters she was there at 1 hour and then after 1, 2, 3, 4 hours she is 8 centimeter. Now at 8 centimeters she can remain here for 2.5 hours. So if it is more than 4 hours then you need an intervention. But if after 1 hour you by chance you see patient is pushing a lot, you see again it is the same, so no problem, she can remain an 8 centimeter for 2.5 hours. And that's why you need to know the Jang labor curve, which is very important, right? Then coming to the descent phase. So descent is assessed by the per abdominal examination, where you can use a 5th method. You can go to my clinical case discussion where I have beautifully elaborated. There are methods of abdominal, how to assess how much had gone inside. Christian method, 5th method, Notelowitz method, Symphysium Syncipit measurement. So these are the few methods by which you can judge the by abdominal method how much there is the head above the pubic symphysis, and in that matter you have to enter that it is only 4/5 palpable, 3/5 palpable, it is 2/5 palpable, 2/5 palpable, that means your head is engaged. So this is the second stage of labor. You can see the P has been written here. That means the patient has started pushing. She was 10 centimeter at 12:30 and 12:45. She has started pushing. So P has been written and these are the contractions. So I had talked of cervix, we had talked of descent. Now this has been left contraction. So contraction should be monitored for 10 minutes. If it is less than 2 or more than 5, it needs an intervention, and duration of the contraction should be written to less than 20 or more than 60, right? Seconds. So if it is more than 60-second duration and more than 5 in number, that patient needs intervention or your attention that there might be a hyperstimulation or a hypertonic contractions. Then you have to continue your monitoring for next 10 minutes more so as to prove yes, this is the problem with there, and you have to immediately intervene in these patients. This is the section 6, where you have to tell about the medications to the patient. Oxytocin, you have to write down how many units per liter and drops per minute, and total units gone in a 1 hour duration has to be written here. So it is written N here, that means no oxytocin has been given in this patient. Besides that, what else medication? You might have given some Pantop to her, you might have given Rotavirin, you might have given Buscopan to this patient. So you have to mention these medications here. If nothing has been given, just write down N, and here no A has been given. Now IV fluid if given, then you will write down Y, and if it has not been given, then you will write down N. And you can patient can progress without any of these interventions, so it's not a problem. Coming to the last section which has been added new to this partogram, so it is regarding the shared decision making. Once you have assessed your patient, you have recorded your findings in your labor partogram. Now you have to check that whatever was there, and then you have to plan. So assessment, you done that yes, patient was having pain, pain relief required. You have not given anything, so pain relief required. So you have written yes, assessment, pain relief required, normal progress is there. So plan is to offer companionship, give her a pain relief, and continue the routine monitoring. So they have given few points. I will show you those points that has to be mentioned in this chart, so that anybody can see and see that you have assessed, okay, you have recorded, yes, okay, but you have also done something, that something is wrong there, and you have picked up those findings. So this is the guidance to fill section 7, that assessment, record the overall assessment and any additional findings not previously documented but important for labor monitoring. In a plan, you write down, record the plan following assessment. For example, you can write down continuation of routine monitoring, prescription of diagnostic test, augmentation of labor, procedure, assisted birth with vacuum or cesarean section. And always take into consideration that women should be involved in the discussion and be allowed to make an informed decision. Each time a clinical assessment of the women and baby's well-being is completed, record this, and this decision should be a shared decision. That is all about the labor care guide, and there are other lectures which are there on my website. You can watch. These are very good, and few more lectures I am going to upload in a few days time, so you can keep yourself updated by subscribing to my site. So thank you all, and I'll try to keep you updated with the latest and current lectures. So it is targeted for undergraduate and postgraduate students and practitioners. Thank you.